YouTube stream going. There we go. Let me get my screen sharing started. Gosh, I feel like it's been forever since we've done one of these. All right, let's get this screen live. There we go. That's what I like to see. All right, who we got here bright and early this morning? What's up, Strife? Good morning to you, buddy. How are you? Who else is in the mix here? Frank. What's up, Frank? Andy? JD? Leave the fray. I'm just going to call you the fray. Navy Plum, what's up, my man? How are you? Park and Sunshine. That's a fancy looking name. Give folks just a couple of minutes to get in the mix before we start digging into too much stuff. Glad to hear you're doing well, Navy Plum. I'm getting my caffeination in bright and early this morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about futures. Also want to talk about Bitcoin a little bit, just absolutely chewing through resistance levels and moving to the upside nicely. I think those who have been listening to these live streams probably remember back in, I want to say around December probably of last year is when, I was beating the drum, start piling into these miners, get into crypto related stocks, build up your positions and, keep dollar cost averaging until it goes on its run. And we are, I think, getting ready to go pretty hard to the vertical side here shortly, especially with the what do they call it? The halvening, the halvening coming up. So anyway, we'll talk about that just briefly. I'll talk about some levels and stuff to watch on Bitcoin, but got a few more folks who have joined us here this morning. What's up, Marty? What's up, Trader Dave? Hawk's Eye, Cup of Magic. Good to see you guys. All right, let's start digging in. We are limited on our time. If you're not here bright and early, sorry about your luck. Early bird gets the worm, right? All right. So, looking at things from a ES futures perspective, I've had some fib extensions in place as the market has continued to make new all-time highs. I do note that we came just shy of this fib extension up here. This would be the 100% extension from the last set I drew, which is based off this run that topped out right about here at the 50% fib level. Yeah, we were broken out, gotten very close to that 100% extension, come back, we're back testing and holding so far as support this 0.786. That being said, we are under what I would say is a fairly obvious and confirmed downtrend. Have also established a daily supply area overhead there on the one-day chart. So, might start to see, not so strong and hard of a run here on SPY a little bit. We might, what I would really like to see is probably a pullback somewhere into this 50.63, 50.48 area to potentially look for a bounce and a push out from under this downtrend. But I would certainly like to see that break first before getting too excited about, printing another new all-time high. Looking at things here from a Neptune perspective with the indicators on, we are catching sort of that key buying pressure there on our trend ribbon with a bullish flag underneath. So, lots of good stuff there. But again, that's still kind of, I know we'll invalidate this trend ribbon, but I would like to see a test of some of this buying pressure down here to, again, load up for a potential move over this trend line and push to challenge that supply zone overhead. So keep your eye on things. Again, we could see some kind of range-bound movement here for a little bit by the looks of it to me. But that's just my 2 cents. So let's take a look, like I said, real quick at Bitcoin, which, like I said, has just been absolutely chewing through resistance levels up, I think, approximately, another, 4.5, I think it was 5% at one point. Again today, so just making pretty hard moves to the upside. We did get this big push up to this level, and I'm really actually surprised that these Bitcoin levels have continued to work as well as they are currently, because I have not revisited these in a long time. Bitcoin is not something I typically follow all that much. Even when I'm trading crypto miners, I'll keep kind of a casual eye on it, but I'm really kind of focused more on the charts for the actual equity that I'm in, which currently I've got Riot and Hut personally. A lot of you have been in these Hut positions with me for probably a year or so now, where we've just been constantly selling premium on that one. I know we've made all of our initial investment back and then some, probably 2 times over at this point with all the contracts that we sold. So that being said, crypto is grinding to the upside, did cleanly hit, well, sorry, I mentioned this yesterday in the chat as we were trying to break out. This has kind of always been an interesting zone as far as how Bitcoin likes to behave above this top line here at 54,516 and below this bottom line down here at 52,709. We got the breakout, broke above it, consolidated and held as support long enough that I think buyers said, okay, you know, we've got the base we want, now let's push it up higher. Ran right up to this 57.05.9 level, rejected pretty cleanly, but came right back down into the buying pressure here on Neptune. It has been riding that to the upside, pushing a little bit higher than that 57.05.9 rejection we saw last night, but still kind of hitting some turbulence as we're going through some of these higher levels here. But that's not all that shocking because, again, I think it's ran about 10% or so in the last 2 days ish. So not the worst thing in the world for crypto to cool off a little bit, but all those miners should be moving nicely this morning. All right, I'm going to start doing some trade reviews now while you guys are sitting here listening in. Please feel free to drop questions in the chat. Give me your ticker requests. I'm happy to take a look at any of those. We are going to do some trade plans this morning live here on the feed, so tell me what you guys want me to take a look at. If you're not currently seeing the chat section of the live stream, little word bubble top right hand of your corner. If you're here in the live stream channel, if all you see is a bunch of tiles with people's avatars on them, make sure you have the chat open. That's where you can type little messages to me, questions, give me your ticker requests, start hitting me with that stuff, because as I wrap up these reviews, I'm going to start jumping into some new trade plans for us to keep an eye on going on into today and through the end of the week. So let's just recap our member selected tickers from over the weekend. Put this on a little bit of a larger time frame here. SMCI, I did mention this yesterday to be kind of conscientious of a couple of things that were going on. Actually, I think we were talking about the 15-minute when I was spotting this stuff yesterday. No, maybe it was on the hourly. Actually, I take that back. Was it? Or maybe we're on the 5-minute. It was the 5-minute. So, I did mention this going into the day, trading day yesterday. We did our SMCI plan over the weekend. Again, this was one of our member selected tickers. We were looking for a break over 879 for a potential push to the upside with targets up here at 915.16 near our first target. But I did mention in the chat yesterday, I said, you know, watch out for this downtrend. Watch out for this 333 SMA. That's a really stiff confluence right there that's going to be hard to just bust through. We ran right up to that and rejected it and never really tested it too hard again after that. Although it does seem like we were fighting over things a little bit here this morning, also trying to pick up back on this ascending trend line right there. So, you know, if SMCI gets another break over our 879 call level, especially with the selling pressure on Neptune, at least on smaller time frames, kind of topping out right there as well. I'll zoom in so you can see that. You know, we'll break over all of this confluence of resistance right here if we do get over 879. So I do like it for a call entry today over 879 versus yesterday, where we still had a little bit of pressure overhead that did become problematic as we anticipated. But overall, the plan is there on the watch list, posted Sunday evening. So if you need to go back and look that up, make sure you are marking these levels down on your chart. You don't have to mark them all. I mean, you can if you want, but and they're all useful. But the key levels for the plan, right? These dashed lines, solid lines, heavy dotted lines. You could even, replicate the long-short setup so you can keep an eye on where your reward and risk areas are. But SMCI, really, in my opinion, no trade so far. Again, I did caution about taking anything yesterday until we got over this noise. We are now over some of that noise right here, but we need to still get over this 879 level, I think, before it gets moves again. JG, I think everybody else can hear me, so I'm gonna say check your audio, man. Check your audio, everyone. Here. Need to look at Discord settings. All right, so SMCI, we'll post it in the chat again. Probably the best thing I can do is I don't have time to like sit here and type the whole thing out. I want to keep things moving. I can do this. I can go back to the member selected tickers. I will copy this message link. I will come back into the chat. And I can post this here. That'll take you right to it. If you go to that in the watch list, all 3 trade plans are right below that link. All right, so that's SMCI. We also did, oh, sure, we can save and close that. We also did a plan for Meta. Let's take a look at this one. Meta is running through all kinds of new all-time high type moves. Looking at things here on the hourly, this was heavily fib extension driven. This trade plan, really no entry so far on Meta. It is coming back down into the buying pressure here, but a little bit of a mixed signal with the short and the trend ribbon kind of keeping the pressure overhead right here. Does look like it could be a pretty decent entry though. If it breaks over 482.61, you could potentially play that move up to this 488.27 level, I'd say, or even possibly 489.69. There's a little bit of confluence with that 0.236 fib extension. So potential earlier, kind of more aggressive entries there if Meta can break over that 482.61. But right now, kind of looking like a mixed bag. Pretty good buying pressure confluence though near our put entry there at 476.81. Again, that's, you can follow that link I just posted in the live stream chat if you want to go check out these trade plans in detail with all of the levels spelled out for you. But Meta so far, kind of nothing happening, but again, I will mention this potential early, more aggressive entry over 482.61. I'd probably keep my stop loss around that 476. Actually, you know what? I would keep it at this pre-market low, 479.78. First target up there at 46.15. Second target 494.29, and then from there, play the plan, right? So you could potentially get an earlier entry with a lot more upside if that plays out. But it's got to break 42.61 first. Save and close, why not? And then AMD, we also did member selected tickers over the weekend. This is another one in that all-time high space. A lot of things are right now. It's just the market's printing all-time highs. That's what happens. So we've got to try to anticipate where we're going to find resistances that have never been tested. This is something that we've had, I would say, massive success with, especially calling the current high on SPY within what I think it was. I was within a nickel before we ever tested the current all-time high. We posted that level. I think that was part of our trade plan for that day, but I think it was a fib extension I drew a couple of weeks ago that caught the current all-time high with that level of accuracy. AMD, again, kind of listing sideways, not really giving us much to work with here. I'm not seeing anything that changes my mind about anything that we put in the member selected tickers, so really kind of not much to talk about there. And then the last, let's see if we close that. Last 2 trade plans we did last Thursday's live stream, and then we'll get to some new trade plans here, which, let's see, so far I think I saw, we just talked about AMD Hawk's Eye, so I would say stick to that plan that I posted with the member selected tickers over the weekend of the watch lists. Yeah, I put a link to it as well here in the chat, so that should take you right to it. And yeah, we can take a look at MU as well, Trader Dave. So I think I could probably get to at least one more. If you guys have any other ticker requests, drop those in the chat. I want to try to knock out at least 2 of these this morning after we finish up these recaps. So this one was lunar. This was actually based on the moon mission that just happened. Let's see, when did we do this one? We did this, yeah, last Thursday. Let's see how this played. Yeah, this thing's been all over the place. Oh, that's right. Their thing like totally shit the bed, didn't it? Failed. Frank, if you're looking for crypto TA, probably want to go to the crypto server. I'm not I don't really chart crypto all that much. I want it to be something that's optionable, where we can trade options and equities on it if we're going to be posted in this server. But we do have a sister server for crypto if you're super interested in Doge or Dodge, or I've always debated how that's actually pronounced. All right, so we did this plan, let's see, last Thursday. Let's see, gave us a little bit of chop in this area. Then we had the whole moon mission thing. It ran through all of our levels and then some. Came out here, we start seeing it playing between our PT3 and our price entry there. I think we did this one like really fast and on the fly. And then I think they had something like tipped over. They had some major issue with it or something like that, didn't it? So that probably caused this sell-off there after hours there Friday. Dropped us all the way down to PT3 for puts. So we called the levels well, but this thing would have been hard to trade, needless to say, and obviously very catalyst driven. But anyway, lunar trade plan levels worked. I think we did this one super quick. But yeah. I was kind of talking about Bitcoin in relation to the Bitcoin miners. So that's the only reason I circled in on that, man. I apologize if I kind of threw you off there with that. Save and close there, and then Intel was another one that we did last Thursday. This one again would have been a little bit tough to catch with this hard drop right out the gate. Took us all the way down almost to PT2. Caught really kind of looked like more this weekly level, which was a little bit stronger, and continues to kind of move sideways down here on the put side of things. Potentially things start to get interesting for an upside move on Intel if it can break over this 43-42 confluence right there with Neptune sell pressure dead on top right there at that level. Also have the 333 SMA overhead. I'd like to see that out of the way as well for Intel to really start to make a decent recovery after that drop. So anyway, those are our recaps. Let's close out some of this extra stuff that we don't need. Why do I have Tesla open? I don't know. Probably I was looking at it yesterday. All right. So let's see. We had MU was our first one. Who asked for MU? That was Trader Dave wants MU. All right, let's take a look. Do have some existing levels here on Micron. And let's just for a second hide the indicators. Clean some of this stuff up real quick. These are old trade plans. Clearly, the upside trade plan worked out decently well eventually. Broke out, bounced on a hard run from there. Let's see what we're looking at though. Man, give me some more chart real estate. Don't know what these old trend lines are still doing here, but it's been a while since I've looked at MU. So let's clean things up a bit. All right. So check some levels here real quick. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. It has been, like I said, quite a while since I've analyzed this one. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot that changes my mind about much so far. We'll talk about PT2. Man, some old trade plans still on here. I think we need that more. All right, let's start to break this down here. Daily standpoint. This could be interesting. This is far from confirmed, but this is an interesting kind of couple of big bounces. Again, nothing there yet. We still need to see a third test of that, but I will be interested to see what happens when we do test that line a third time. And it's pretty parabolic at the moment. All right, let's see if we can't figure out what we want to do with that then. All right, let's zoom in here a little bit. Interesting rejection up in this range. We'll have a level there, at least not currently. Tighten this up so we'll move a little faster. I don't want to lose this spot on the chart, but I might have to. All right, what is in this range here that is causing resistance? I think it's sitting right. Yeah, right about here-ish, I'd say. Level that I did not have yet. Also, this level doesn't look like it's really performing spectacularly. I might get rid of that in favor, or move it down in favor of catching that like that. Yeah, that looks a little better. think it was just a little off with that one. Yeah, this is definitely another interesting spot we're going to want to pay attention to as we work out an upside trade plan. Do have a little wick print up there, but I think our real resistance is going to be a little bit lower. Yeah. Yep. I agree with that still. And let's see. This is an interesting little... It's very quick. Not something I would put a ton of weight into, but there could be a level there. And then this, I believe, is our current all-time high ceiling right at 98.42. Well, that was probably is that an after hours print? Why isn't that on there? Oh, we're probably past, yeah, we're just past 52 weeks, that's why. Okay, never mind, that makes sense. All right, so I think that looks like that. All right. So let's take one more look at. I want to get a sense. I think what we're probably looking for is a break in 94.09. Yeah. And I think that's really where upside potential opens up a bit more. Otherwise, I think there's a lot of crap to run into, essentially. Shoot for the first target up here at this weekly level. Next target, I'd play the more conservative of these two. We've seen some more candles kind of stopping right at that level. 96.46 over that. Let's see. There's actually, I believe, yep, there's still a gap to actually fill here that I should have paid closer attention to. I think we might make some adjustments to this plan, actually. There's a gap here that we're going to want to pay attention to. I just saw it. Yeah, we haven't filled that. That's close-ish. I don't think that's close enough, though. What's the difference there? Yeah, that's another 50 cents. Yeah, I think that gap still needs to fill, in my humble opinion. So I think what I would do, I'm taking a shot at this. I might be getting too aggressive with this call entry. Or with the first price target on this call side. I'd be shooting for that test of that gap entry. From there, I want to see that gap fill. And from there, if it does push higher, I would scale out heavily at that gap fill at 97.49, by the way. Only free runners and have some profit out of the trade also by that point. If you're going to shoot for 98.42 after that gap fills, because we can see a reversal off that gap fill. So let me figure out one last thing, which is where should we set our stop on this thing? Come on, I lost my place. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Just sort of based on where things were at. Let me also, kind of totally neglecting a key part of this. I'm getting a little too focused on the levels. But, yeah, I like this 92.90 as a stop. So for the downside, this is an interesting level right here. Small gap down to fill too. there, and there. But below, yeah, I think if we lose this 88.91, MU makes a move down. And if it does make that move down, yeah, I think we're looking for PT1 at 86.72 with the stop here at 90.47. So this one's kind of got some range on the risk side of things. So make sure you get plenty of time on these contracts. Sorry, I was just debating a potentially earlier entry. I'd rather have a little bit more confirmation though the more I look at this. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that 88.91. PT2, I think I like that right there. That looks like it was a target from an old trade plan down there at 85.04. And then last price target, I think down here at this weekly level. That could be tough to crack. So here's our MU trade plan. It's a plural. Again, give these contracts some time. Don't play too far out of the money. I mean, that's just generally good advice, but this one especially, I would say. Let's see if anything changes my mind about any of that, which no, it does not. Let's get a little bit more room on this chart. Is that, no, that squishes things too much. I'm gonna go a little bit smaller. Maybe I'll stick with that 15-minute chart. I feel like the lines lined up a little bit better. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that. It seems superfluous being right there. All right, that looks pretty good. That should be easy to follow. So here's your MU trade plans. And what we're looking for here is a break of 94.09 to play for the upside. That should give us targets at 96.07, 97.49, and 98.42 with the stop loss average down at 92.90. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 88.91. That should give you targets at 86.72, 85.04, and 84.03 with the stop loss average down at 90.47. That is your MU trade plan. You are very welcome, Trader Dave. Thanks for the request, buddy. All right. Cruise through that one pretty quickly. What was the next one? Let's see. Talked about AMD. We did MU. Coin was the next one from JG. Coin's probably a good one to be watching right now. Probably crazy parabolic. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Coin. This is another one I haven't looked at in a little while, I don't think. Let's see. When was the last time I planned this out? Huh, February? Yeah, didn't feel like that recently, but I guess I did. You know what? I think I've got this on. Sorry, I'm testing some stuff with having two types of signals that we can push to Neptune now, and I think I've got it on turbo mode, which is kind of really more for scalping at the moment. So that's why there's a lot of long shorts all over that thing, which is a little bit distracting at the moment. Definitely a gap down fill here, though. We want to pay attention to that. Bouncing off that gap entry so far this morning. Definitely below this daily level, though. Could see some downside start to play out. That'll be interesting. Let's take a look at where this is tapping right here. I'm just going to put a place marker in for a second. Forever. Sorry, just realized. All right, coin, what are you doing? Interesting rejection around that level. Yeah, and I have not charted many levels on coin up in this range. I think we might actually, yeah, let's do that real quick. I'm just now realizing. There we go. let's check this out real quick. I have not, clearly not done all of my due diligence up in this range, and we're going to probably need it. This weekly level, yeah, kind of is a weekly level, actually. It's debating that a little bit by the looks of it. There's something here that we're going to want to keep an eye on. Don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out. Definitely a weekly level there. That's an interesting one, too. All right, I don't think we're going to need much more than that, at least not for anything near term. Let's take a look at our daily levels. Go back. Go. All right, so let's figure out what this guy is. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting. It's a daily level. Yep, got another one there. Interesting rejections, plural. Lots of them, but no real support tests off of any of that. Well, there's one that's kind of close, but I don't know if that's close enough. Let's see. Yeah, I'd call that close enough, actually. That's good. I don't want to get too nitpicky. All right. So let's check our 4-hour levels, and I think we'll be good to polish off this upside trade plan. Does anybody else hear the Jeopardy music in their head while I'm doing these levels? Or is that just me? Is that just me putting pressure on myself? All right, so I think our entry's probably over this. It's the pressure. What is coin calls for 1,000, Alex? All right, come on. Yeah. Yep. All right, we're looking for a break over this daily level. That's kind of what I was anticipating. First target, shooting for that guy up there at 231.70. Over that, definitely would not want to be too bold about just flying through a weekly level, especially with the run that things are on. I could definitely imagine some profit taking happening there. Over that, this level a little low based on the more recent price action. I think I do. I think it does sit a little bit more like that. The question is, do we ask for more and go for that weekly level? I'll let you guys decide. I'll put both on the chart. Smart money, consistent profit taking works best at the end of the day. Smart money will be out at 245.82. Risky money is going to shoot for that extra few dollars. Free runners only if you take that shot. All right, to the downside. Again, I already like a break back below this daily level. I think we're shooting for this first price target. Could go down to this weekly level, but I'm going to go one more level conservative on that. If we close, and that will also mean that we've closed that gap and continue down, so that's kind of a pretty bearish signal in my opinion. That being said, I think I would play this. Oh wait, probably also figure out stop loss average downwards for the upside trade plan, shouldn't I? 210.22. Those rejections right there keep drawing my eye, but just wasn't seeing a whole lot to confirm that. It's I know where I want to put our stop loss. Oops, I think I just moved it. Yeah, there we go. Just I'm not seeing enough to really call that a good level. Let's see. Do we have any? Maybe it's just a little bit. I was kind of looking at, it could be something there. Let's see that. Do these candles real quick. You know what? Let's give it to this weekly level. We're giving ourselves plenty of room to the upside. This could be volatile. I think we need to give it room. That's kind of what I was debating, is to play it a little bit tighter, or give it room down to that stronger support. I think I would. Just the more I think about it, the more I lean that direction. All right, so downside targets. We've got one there, second here, third. Yeah, I see we go for this 4-hour level down here at 172.95. Really, I would be strongly leaning in favor of this playing out to the upside, but you never know. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's throw Neptune on. Let's see if that changes our mind about anything. I like that PT1 is right where the heaviest buying pressure is going to pick up, right in there. So that's what I want to see. I don't think there's going to be anything overhead, probably on any time frame. Yeah, with the way this is moving. All right, cool. So let's go with it. And I will leave that fourth upside price target on the chart, but again, don't be too greedy. And conservative to the downside, and would also want to see, again, that gap fill and continuation to the downside before I got too bearish on coin. Shrink this down a little bit. It should be at a spot where you can see all the levels pretty well. Okay, let me actually, I'll zoom in a little bit more. This might help. Yeah, I got a lot of levels stacked up in there. That's not helpful. Well, we'll just go with it. All right, so here's what we're doing on coin. So what we're looking for on coin is a break over 214.85 to play for the upside. Over 214.85, we've got targets at 231.70, 239.55, 245.82, and potentially as high as, kind of hit it up under that US dollar sign, 251.58. You guys can see that on that chart. No, you can't. Damn it. Damn it. What was I thinking? Hang on, I'm going to just repost this. So you can see that the number for that fourth price target. I didn't realize I had hit it up under this USD thing right here. So again, we are looking for targets at 231.70, 239.55, 245.82, potential lofty fourth price target up there at 251.58. To the downside, we're looking for a stop loss average down at 207.65. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 196.29. That should give us targets at 187.74, 180.57, and 172.95. Note the confluence down there with where the 333 SMA is currently. If we move to the downside, it'll probably still be there when we get there. But if we move up, it'll probably move a bit higher. It could be closer to PT2. So keep your eye on that. As always, moving average I talk about a lot. So below 196.29, again, 187.74. 180.57, 169.02 with a stop loss average down at 256. That is your coin trade plans. All right. Oof, man, can I fly through one in like 5 minutes? Let's see. Which ones do we get questions about? Chris asked for Oracle. Chris is the GOAT stock picker. He picks them and I plan them. Let's see if we can't, yeah, he is the Oracle. I like that. Better than what were the other ones we came up with? The goose that lays the golden eggs and the truffle pig. Well, Well, it's playing out this downside trade plan already. Rejected that put entry down to 111.86, but let's see what happens if we get continuation. Yeah, we could plan this pretty quickly, I think. Let's see. I love it. All right. It's been a while since I've looked at Oracle. I think this level's a little bit lower. Yeah, it is. Probably why I had it blue. It was kind of testing. Testing. I think that level's there. I think that's also a good put entry. So this is going to be kind of fill in the blanks as we go. Looks like this level might be a little bit off. I think it's probably sitting a little bit more like there. I do like this as a first price target right where we've got it. Question is, how much room do we give this on the stop loss? I think we give it up to here at 111.86. A little bit better just eyeballing it than one-to-one risk reward. I would play this one target closer than this key level from the last plan we did on Oracle. Don't know when. And then below that, again, I may have this level a little bit off. I played where this bounce came from. It's very close to an established level. Yeah, that is a pretty good level, actually. So, bam, 1, 2, 3. That's your downside. Upside. Yeah, I think we stick with breaking back over this put entry. We flip this prior put stop loss average down. Let me go to a slightly higher time frame for a second here. No, I would move this. Well, no, I'm not going to move that because that's probably right where it needs to be, actually. I think there's something there. No, maybe it is a little bit lower. Yeah, I like that right there. Again, these levels can shift a little bit, kind of like tectonic plates. Generally, they stay in the same spot. They can move around a little bit over time. Like this level, I think this is also a little bit high. Or what the level I had was a little bit high. I think the actual level's right here. Then over that, I think we take a shot up here at 116.44, right? Wait a second. I think I just changed my mind about something. Yeah, I did. Let's say we're shooting for this, PT2. And this is PT3. With a stop loss average down right here. Man, we did it. With a minute to spare. All right. Kind of make this a little less confusing for you guys. There. And switch this guy out. There we go. That looks more like it. There's our upside trade plan. Downside trade plan. All right. There you go, Chris, the GOAT. That's another farmyard animal. That's it. Yeah, I just realized. Can't help it, man. It's just it's your thing now. We're just gonna make it a thing. All right. So what we're looking for here is a break over 113.27. That should give us targets at 114.30, 115.44, and 116.44. Stop loss average down at 112.56. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 110.46. That should give us targets at 108.94, 108.02, and 106.50 with a stop loss average down at 111.86. With that, we hit the nail on the head right here at 9:15 in the morning. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We will be back Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please come back and join us for another live stream then. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys with what we always suggest you do here on the Xtrades FOMO live stream, and that is plan your trades, trade your plans, go out there, get some green, secure the bag, have yourself a fantastic day. I will see you guys in the chat. Talk to you soon, and we'll see you back here Thursday morning. Take care. Have a good one.